Why did Satoshi call himself we? 2008. The world was collapsing. A global financial crisis was tearing through the system. Banks were failing. Trust in money was disappearing. And in that same year, somewhere on the internet, a document appeared. Just 9 pages long. Its title was The Bitcoin Whitepaper. That document would begin to change the history of money, the power of states, and possibly the future of humanity. But inside those 9 pages, there is one word that still makes people stop. One word. We. Satoshi Nakamoto never once says I in the white paper. Instead, he writes, "We propose a new electronic cash system." He writes, "We define a solution to this problem." Satoshi always says we. But here's the strange part. Satoshi was one name, one email address, one shadow. So the question becomes unavoidable. Why did he call himself we? In technical documents, the word we is not unusual. But with Satoshi, it feels different, because he was completely alone. He published the white paper alone. He posted on forums alone. He released the code alone. In emails and discussions, he never mentioned a team, an organization, a company. Always just one name, Satoshi Nakamoto. And yet, in the white paper, he speaks as we. So what was it? A grammatical habit? Or the only clue he ever left behind? Let's place the first pillar and build a hypothesis. Hypothesis 1. Satoshi was not an individual, but a group. Bitcoin is not a simple program. It combines cryptography, distributed networks, economics, and social system design, all working together with remarkable precision. Too precise, some argue, for a single person. The white paper was written quickly. The code worked almost flawlessly, as if a long-prepared project revealed itself all at once. If Satoshi was a group, then we may have been literal. But there is another possibility. Hypothesis 2. Satoshi was an individual who chose to appear as a group. Why? Because Bitcoin challenged the monetary power of states. If one person had claimed to create a new form of money, that person would have become one of the most dangerous individuals on Earth. Governments, banks, intelligence agencies, corporations, all eyes would have turned to him. But if we created this, responsibility becomes diffuse. The target blurs. The system becomes the focus, not the person. Perhaps Satoshi wanted the system, not himself, to be the protagonist. And then, there is the third hypothesis. Hypothesis 3. Satoshi never existed. Perhaps we have been asking the wrong question from the beginning. The name sounds Japanese, but shows no trace of Japanese culture. The thinking feels Western, yet belongs to no nation, as if the identity was designed to point nowhere. If so, whether Satoshi was one person or many, may not matter at all. Satoshi may not have been a real individual, but a concept created for the system itself. No one to hold accountable, no face to represent authority, no figure to worship, because Bitcoin required none of those. Maybe Satoshi did not disappear. Maybe there was never anyone there to remain. And so the question changes. Not, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? But, why are we still looking for him? Satoshi hid himself, never revealed his identity, and he called himself we. Perhaps this was the message. This money does not belong to me. This system is not property. It belongs to all of us. Bitcoin is not a company, not a state, not a brand. From the beginning, it was designed to be owned by no one. If so, then we was not grammar. It was philosophy. Throughout history, money has always been a tool of power. But Bitcoin is different. It is the first currency maintained, not by force, not by authority, but by collective agreement. If that is true, Bitcoin may not be just a technology, but the starting point of a new civilization. And at that starting point, Satoshi said not I, but we. Satoshi disappeared, but he left behind that word, we. And today, Bitcoin continues to live, not owned by anyone, but sustained by all of us. To be continued in the next episode.